if you read something, we'll call it a self-help or a self-improvement book. If you read one of those and you believe the author, and if he knows what he's talking about, and you put it into action, the whole reason he wrote the book is to change somebody's life. Right. So it will change your life. You cannot take a book. We'll go back to the most famous, Think and Grow Rich. You can't take that book and read it and believe what it says and put it into action without it changing your life.
Exactly. I'm on my 6th read for that.
And Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the book?
Let's see, my favorite part of the book is the part where he talks about putting action to it. Like you were saying before, you know, when he does his part where he has the men, the presidents sit around him and talk about his
that's my favorite part. That's what I was about to tell you. That's his invisible council,
his dream team, basically, of council people.
His invisible council. So this is a guy, not to cut you off, but I feel so strongly about it. Here's a guy who studied the greatest, most successful people on the planet at the time, the Vanderbilts, Henry Ford, the Rockefellers. He studied them. He knew the Carnegies. He knew exactly how they did things, and he studied them for 20 years, I think, and then wrote a book about it.
25-year thing.
And he talks about this is about imagination, and this is woo woo before it was known as woo woo. He would sit down in a room, in a dark room by himself. If people would have seen him, they would have said
he'd locked him up for sure.
He would have invisible council meetings with people who weren't there. People don't talk about that very much when they talk about Think and Grow Rich. They don't talk about that chapter, but that's and I'm like, so he would imagine
conversations with people
who were there.
He had people who was always late for the meeting.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was always late, but he was always coming in late to this meeting of the minds. Basically, he had a mastermind before people had masterminds.
Yeah.
And his mastermind didn't even exist.
Yep.
They were imaginary people that he knew how they thought. So what he would do, what was so crazy, I like the guy who thought for a living. This guy would sit into a room. So like Billy here would say, hey, I've got this problem. How do we fix this? This guy would go to his room, blacked out, back in the 1900s, and sit there and think about your problem. And when had a notepad like you did, and he would sit there and jot information. And when he got through with his thinking process, he would come out and have a solution for you, because he would just take out all distractions and only let free information flow through him.